First we're going to look at the smaller base, which is the stand for the brain condor and scramble dash. So you can see it's just it's a very simple little stand here. There's nothing for the brain condor to snap into, so we just sort of rest there, and then this piece can go forward and back, and so you can position the scramble dash. The smaller stand for Great Mazinger is pretty cool, and they do things a little differently this time around. To get Great Mazinger on the stand, you actually have to kind of wedge it under and sort of secure it so it secures really, really well. And then you still have the opportunity to put the scramble dash on the back. And result is a very secure stand. There is also a nameplate that goes on here at the bottom, which I have not applied yet. The Big Daddy base is the big Hangar unit, which is a little bit too big for my field of view here. But you can open it up and see what's going on here. There are lights here that require, 3 AAAs, but all of these little things open like so. There are actually little supports here on the legs that come down to brace it. Not that it really needs those supports. And there are a couple of pieces here that you will end up mounting here in order to secure Mazinger to the back. And you also notice there are all of these connection points, and that's where we will put the armor on. You can see here with all the armor set up against the walls of the hangar, it looks pretty great. The lights on the bottom here are positionable, so you can cast the light wherever you want it to go. They're not super strong, but they do the job. A few things to note here with this base is that, one, the little vehicles that came with Mazinger Z are not included with this version. And two, obviously there is not enough place to hold every accessory. So there is no place to put the swords, there's no place to put the variant parts, and I think actually that's a real missed opportunity, because you do have all this extra space on the sides here. Going in on the sides, you have extra space behind Mazinger. You could easily make this a self-contained unit, but they chose not to for some reason. That doesn't diminish its coolness and the impact of its effect on display. It just looks really great. And I like the fact that they make an effort to display at least a good portion of it. It looks really spectacular though. And it's an impressive large set. It's really a great display piece, and when you're not, if you want to keep it protected from dust, you just, close them up. And away he goes. And now, of course, the comparison between the two. They're very, very close in height. Not, definitely not sort of in scale. But maybe they are. Maybe I'm wrong. I just thought for some reason that there was a good height difference. But I guess if you look at like the crossovers, when they do crossovers, I guess they are sort of depicted as the same sort of height. So what can I say about comparing the two models? Well, first of all, obviously, Great Mazinger is much tighter, and I mean, look at and that happens a lot. Look at these arms. They're just sort of like, Obviously, we know there's a huge problem with the elbows. Although my elbows aren't as bad as other. Oh, there you go. Elbow falls off. And also, there's a little bit of a. See, we got that going on. A little bit of shake. You don't have that here. Very tight. So you can see like overall the quality is much better. And just things just stay on better. Like this thing, the mask falls off easy. The pillar falls. It's just, I'm just kind of like flicking those pieces off. Like you don't get that on this one. Overall, it's much more secure. It doesn't feel sort of like pieces are gonna drop. And I'm not saying that the Mazinger is a bad piece by any stretch. It's really, really cool. But there were some engineering flaws that were definitely addressed with Great Mazinger. And of course, the internal mechanisms of each are unique. Although they keep a similar style, they are different. So it's not like they're reusing a lot of parts here. Everything is remolded essentially from scratch. as far as I can tell at this first glance. Another thing that is different when you get the wings for the Mazinger, they actually can come apart. So you can see the inner detail on Mazinger. Great Mazinger does not have that feature. They do not open up like that. But Great Mazinger comes with his wing, whereas Mazinger, you had to order it separately. I wanted to talk about the handshake hand. So it does come with 2 hands that they can hold hands like a loving couple. Honestly, if you could have heard how much I swore trying to get this pose to work, because everything keeps fucking falling off Mazinger. You know, I bump a thing, it comes off. I bump the head, it comes off. I bump the arm, it comes off. You know, that's just another example of how great of a joy Great Mazinger is to handle as opposed to Mazinger Z. Yeah, so they can do that, and you probably never will do it again. So overall, I'm very happy with the revamped and revised version and engineering. I really don't have any complaints to speak of with the piece, besides the fact that it's astronomically expensive. But, you know, you're getting a lot for that. I guess the few things I would mention is, 1, the lack of the little trucks. 2, the lack of storage space for all of the parts. This box that it comes in is enormous, and if you want to change the parts, you know, there's no place in the hangar to store them, so you have to pull that giant box out of storage, get the parts you want, change it around, and put the box back into storage, or use it as a coffee table. I don't know. You could do either. But yeah, it's awesome, and I'm very excited to have it. I love that they're continuing the line. It may be a once every 2 year sort of thing, but it is a cool piece. I really enjoy it. Once again, thanks to our friends at angles.com for hooking us up with this. You can get it there. Thanks for sticking in through all 3 parts. This is Josh from CollectionDX.com. And, fuck. We'll see. See what I'm talking about? We'll see you next time. Right? Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.